Hello children, in this class we will discuss Social Studies Class 4, Chapter 7 Ancient India. Prehistory is the period of time in history before information was written. We learned about this period by studying the tools the people of this period made and used, the buildings they built and the cave paintings they made. When early humans began to read and write, they began to write the stories of ancient kings, about the people, their lives, and about important events. This is called history. In India, there are three different periods of history: ancient, medieval, and modern. During the ancient period in India, early humans began to lead a more settled life along the river banks. Gradually, towns and cities started shaping up, and people began trading and practiced many other occupations. This is how the first civilization in India came into being. A civilization is a human society and it's with its own social organization and culture. The Indus Valley civilization, also called the Harappan civilization, was the first civilization of India. Let us learn more about it. So dear children, what do you mean by prehistory? That is the period of time before information was written. It means that when human beings did not know how to write, that time period was known as prehistory. And how do we get information from prehistory? As there are no written sources, no written information by the human beings. How do we get information about prehistory? By studying the tools, whatever the tools people of that period made or used, and from the buildings they built, and from the cave paintings they made. From these are the sources through which we get information about prehistory. And what do you mean by history? History means when humans began to read and write, means when human beings learned how to read and write. From that time period, it is known as history. And from that time period, whatever happened in the past, human beings began to write stories, began to write all the happenings of the past. They began to write stories of ancient kings, about the people, about their lives, and about important events, whatever happened in the period of history. And in India, three different periods of history. History is divided into three periods. Those are ancient history, medieval history, and modern history. In this lesson, we will discuss about ancient history, about ancient India. First civilization. Which was the first civilization? Indus Valley civilization, or it is also called Harappan civilization. What do you mean by civilization? Developed society of humans with its social and cultural organization. It means that after the early humans, human beings started living a settled life, started living permanently in a particular place. So, and that place started developing. Okay, it means that developed society of humans with its social and cultural organization. The place developed with social and cultural organization. So, and humans started settled life along the river banks. After the early humans, the human beings evolved, okay, and they changed. They started settling their life. They started living permanently along the river banks, along the banks of different rivers. And towns and cities were also developed during this period. During ancient history, during ancient India, towns and cities were also developed. Why? Because human beings started living in a particular place permanently. So people also began trading, and they also practiced many other occupations, and many other occupations were also practiced during that time. So I hope you understood about civilization. Means that the first town and cities, the first developed town and cities, where human beings lived together as a society with social and cultural organization. They also started following their own culture. Next, Indus Valley Civilization. So dear children, let us learn about Indus Valley Civilization. Means the first cities, the first town planning by the early humans, by the human beings. The Indus Valley Civilization existed thousands of years ago. It is named so because it developed on the banks of the river Indus in northwest India and Pakistan. It was spread over a large area. The important cities of this civilization have been unearthed in Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Chenhudaro in Pakistan, and Kalibangan, Dholavira and Lothal in India. So dear children, which was the first civilization? That is Indus Valley Civilization. And this Indus Valley Civilization, when Indus Valley Civilization started, this existed thousands of years ago. Indus Valley Civilization was developed by the humans. This was the first town planning by the humans in our country, India. And this existed thousands of years ago. When Indus Valley Civilization developed in our country, India, it developed thousands of years ago. And it developed on the banks of river Indus. There is a river which is called Indus. So, this town developed on the banks of river Indus in the northwest India and Pakistan. That is why this civilization was known as Indus Valley Civilization, which spread over a large area. So this is the Indus Valley Civilization. There are many towns under this civilization. This is northwest. This northwest part of India and Pakistan. Okay. Before India and Pakistan were together. So in this Indus Valley Civilization, there were many important cities. Some of the cities were in Pakistan and some of the cities were in India. Okay. So those are some of the cities of Indus Valley Civilization which were located in Pakistan. Those were Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Chenhudaro, and the cities of Indus Valley Civilization which were developed, which were in our country India, were Kalibangan, Dholavira and Lothal. Okay, and Lothal. These were the cities of Indus Valley Civilization, that is important cities. So dear children, I hope you understood about Indus Valley Civilization. That is the first town planning of our country, India. In our next class, we will continue discussing towns and cities, trade and art of Indus Valley Civilization. Thank you. Have a nice day.